Hello everybody, welcome to you. We are in a lovely church. There's no other way to describe it. Sometimes churches are nice, sometimes churches are amazing. This one is a lovely church. It's St Andrew's. We're at a place called Dalton le Dale. Now, why was it called Dalton le Dale? To differentiate it from Dalton Piercy. And also, this used to be a valley that was owned by a man, an Anglo-Saxon, called Dearda's Vale,
right.
Dearda's Vale. Right. And we ended up calling valleys vales because all of these Anglo-Saxons from foreign parts, as the Angles and the Saxons teamed up to come and live on our green and pleasant land. We've been told a ghost story about this precise place, so we're here. We've also found somewhere that's open 24 hours that we are going to visit in part 2, and it's going to be different, dark, and more than a little bit spooky, I think, because we've had a little look on passing. But let's get to the game. First of all, there's something unique about this church that you want to come and see. Have a look up here. They've got a gate here for lepers. Back in the day when lepers were a major thing and they were everywhere, what happens if you're a leper and literally your body... Can I just tell you that there is an eagle on the top of the tree?
Right.
There's an eagle on top of the tree. We don't see eagles. Come here, Tony, you'll see it.
That's got it. That'll just swoop down and get a mouse or something, won't it? Or us.
Or a dick. Don't know whether you can make it out, but it's celebrating the place. Might not be an eagle, could be a red kite.
The noise it's making.
Making a similar noise, but it's definitely a very large bird of prey. But anyway, come up here.
I thought that was a nun.
Thank you.
A bird of prey.
Oh dear, 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 dear. There you go. This is the Leper's Gate. Now, there's a few things inside the church that I wish we could get in to see. One of them is the full...
Seriously, that's all sticky?
It's sticky.
Come and feel this. Ugh.
Come over here and feel me sticky.
I thought it must have been painted, but it's not because there's cobwebs on it. Feel it.
No.
It is.
It's just reasonably newly painted, I think.
No, it's not. That's not painted because there's cobwebs on it.
Well, there are cobwebs on it.
But look, why is it sticky?
Only takes you 2 minutes for a spider, mate. So, the Leper's Gate, what was this all about? Now, back in the day, they didn't want parishioners and churchmen because they were not church women. These places were run by men because it was a man's world. But the lepers said, but we want to hear the word of God, even though, I mean, they could, in all honesty, say what's God done for us, because for heaven's sake they were lepers. And the lepers used to come here and they'd open the door.
Yeah.
You'd be able to hear the church service, and then before they had any interaction with the churchman, they'd slam the door shut and the lepers would have to leave before the people.
That's crazy, isn't it?
In a way, it's a lovely thing, because at least they're being considered, but it's the Princess Diana thing. Princess Diana met people with HIV and she gave them a cuddle, because there's no chance through that you could ever come to any harm, for heaven's sake. And it was the same with leprosy. Leprosy's not passed easily.
Right.
So they could have gone in and sat in the church, but nobody would have had it. Nobody would have stood for that.
Different age, wasn't it? Different age.
Anyone who would like to leave flowers in the memory of someone can leave them here in the Queen Elizabeth II Memorial Garden, which is actually also a pretty lovely thing.
It's nice.
And people are obviously doing it. Sign of a nice church. It's not a large church, this whole thing. But Tony's going to show you around the back and along the sides, because after this place became Dalton le Dale, because let's face it, it's French, and it all came to pass after William the Conqueror conquered, and it was the war with Scotland was a running sore. Only 5 people remained when the Scots chased everybody else out. And then 50 years later, there were only 6 households here. 3 resorted to beggary.
Oh, hey, my uncle told me about that.
No, beggary. There was 1 house of ill repute here.
Ah, my uncle told us about that as well.
And then there was a thing here in Dalton Liddale called the Cotterelli, cottagers.
My uncle told us about that as well.
Oh dear, we're not getting a good start today. The Cotterelli, farm cottages here.
All about cottages.
In the main square, and they never paid a single bill with money. They paid with wool, which was really expensive back then.
Yeah.
They paid with wool, they paid with chickens, hens, and vegetables.
Right.
And they say that some of the doors here are actually the real doors. So,
That looks pretty authentic, man, doesn't it?
and some of these, they've got an Anglo-Saxon sword built into what?
Did you hear that there?
What was it?
It went. There was definitely a noise there. No, there was a noise. It went. I thought it was a dog.
Well, hopefully
It went.
people would have caught it. Oh, he's lost signal.
There was a noise as well.
Damnation.
It's recording, so just finish your story.
All right, okay. Sorry. And this is the churchyard of St. Andrew. St. Andrew's churchyard. This church belonged to Durham Cathedral since the 1100s. Then it was passed on to King Ethelstan.
Right.
And then after that,
Why haven't I heard of King Eccleston?
Ethelstan. He was like a regional king rather than a national king.
Right.
While this was a rough priory, they had to fight over it, and there were massacres and no end of problems defending this church.
Did you hear that? You must have heard that.
I did hear that. What was that? Is it just the handle clicking? No. Now they've got an Anglo-Saxon sword built into the wall of the church, I believe on the inside. And that Anglo-Saxon sword was said at the time that it would represent the churchmen who fought, because you've heard of the fighting bishops of Durham, all of this area, fighting churchmen, trying their best to keep anybody from getting all the good stuff that they had, because this is where the money came to. Also in here, interestingly, they've got a sundial. Now the sundial, they put sundials on a few churches, and you would think, well, it's a lovely decorative thing to put on a church. Bottom line with it, it upset an awful lot of people, because the sun was associated with pagans, because the Christians believed that pagans worshipped the sun. They didn't.
Right.
They loved the sun and were grateful to the sun for warming the land and growing the crops and da-di-da-di-da-di-da, but they didn't worship, they didn't think the sun was a man or a person or a god.
No.
But the Christians pushed that story because it made more people come to the church and leave paganism behind it. And they've put a sundial inside the main porch, which is actually around the corner, but we can't get in to see it at this time of night. I don't know about you, but does that not look like a figure to you?
It just definitely looks like a figure. Look. Look at that. We have to put it into there.
Well, but it's worn into there, which makes it even better.
Yeah. Do you know what that's like? That's like them thingies that you showed me, them pictures on the blog.
Yeah.
When people were just left of
Were vaporised.
Yeah.
Now, I want to read you the story that I found, because when we come to these places, we try and find a story that attaches it. From the place we go to next, which will be in about 40 minutes or so, we've got a ghost story told to me by 3 people who live in Seaham. Right. So we're heading Seaham way. However, here,
Ham.
Seaham,
See ham.
the one thing that I go looking for, you go on the internet, you find some stuff, but a lot of the old stuff you don't find quite so easy. No. So I go into bibliographies, which is books, and a lot of people have books online that are like page, and to wade through it's a nightmare. But you sometimes come up with something fine. We weren't going to come to Dalton Dale, but we're starting with it because it gets juicier as the night proceeds. It's already starting to get dark now. By the time we get to our second place, it's going to be black, and it's going to be atmospheric. We've got Suki in the car. We've got full team out tonight, and we're going to be doing a ghost hunt from this place. So get ready for that. However, let me just read this. I found a magazine. Magazine's not even the right word. You know when somebody just puts out pages of information?
Yeah.
They just print it. It's not a newspaper, it's just locally done. There was a thing in 1962 that I found that's called the Dalton Dale Digest. And I think it was something to do with the people who came to this church.
Right.
I think they'd put this together just purely because of how it's written.
Could be like a local newsletter thing that they have.
Newsletter, I think, but digest, their almanac, they called it. They were holding a party here to celebrate the Queen Mother's death.
To celebrate the Queen Mother's death?
Well, to pay tribute to the Queen Mother, rather.
Right.
Because there's a full-bodied effigy of a knight in full armour in here, and it's the figure of William Bowes Lyon. So Bowes Lyon was the Queen Mother's surname as well.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that they do something here. And in the Dalton Dale Digest, a lot of it was Mrs. this and Mrs. that, made some cakes, Mr. such and such and Mrs. brought the flowers. So it's all nicey, churchy stuff until this. Have a listen. July 1962's Dalton Dale Digest. After dozens of locals have seen our unruly and errant ghost, we are still no closer in solving who this tall, slender chap is. Our prestigious local author, Tom McNee, has seen the figure doing its nightly patrol along Dalton Scrubs, the woods surrounding the graveyard outside the churchyard. So we're going to go along that road because there's a little path down there. Yeah. So we're going to go down and have a look at this. This is where this slender figure is. It says, our beloved vicar has admitted to hearing many a tale of this disturbed spirit, but has not encountered it. Oh, how we wish we could uncover his journey from life to his persistence beyond death. It's written like a churchy kind of thing. And that's Dalton Dale. Now, Dalton Dale's a place where one of the greatest writers and poets of his day stayed at Dalton Hall. Some say Dalton Tower, I'm not so sure, but Dalton Hall. And also, there's a pub round the corner, just along the road from here. There used to be a coaching house there, and it's believed that Lord Byron actually stayed there, definitely stayed at Dalton Hall, and he ended up getting married to a woman called Anne Milbank. Byron, and you know, when we come to places like this, we want to big them up, and we're going literally looking for spirit. Keep your eyes open. If you see any movement, we want you to let us know. We've had nothing off these
not yet.
The walls, but it's early doors. And where we go next is our main target, so get ready for that. We will be properly ghost hunting. But the Lord Byron thing, he's a great writer. You've heard from the Dalton Dale Digest. Let's just very quickly hear. This is what Lord Byron said about Seaham. Now remember, he had to come back to Seaham, but he wrote this. Upon this dreary coast, we have nothing but county meetings and shipwrecks. And I have this day dined upon fish that probably dined on the crews and sailors of the colliers lost in the late gales. But I did see the sea once more in all its glories of surf and foam. So wasn't too enamoured
No.
by seeing. Anyway, let's come and let's tuck this away and start a proper look. Now, Kenny found some weird things. Tell everybody about this. We believe it's all the same family. That's what I think.
Oh, right. So on gravestones, you normally see like full names. You wouldn't just have initials, would you? On a gravestone,
normally.
Why would you? Because how are you gonna know who's there? But on these graves up here, it's got like EG, GG, JG, just initials.
Yes, but when you start looking at the other graves that's there and thereabout, you see that it looks like it's a plot owned by a particular family.
Yeah.
So I believe that to be the case. And the family must have a G surname then.
Yeah, but still.
There you go, Gregsons. It's the Gregson plot.
Right.
1930s, 1917.
Yeah, but look.
And all of these are G's. It is an odd thing. I have not come across it before. Don't know whether you can see it, Tony.
Not with a torch.
Go down and check it out, too.
I want to know what E and B are.
So instead of just putting Gregson and putting their Christian names, they've just put their
MMG.
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 Died January the 8th.
And
EG, GG, AG, JG.
I think they rode horses.
And they're all...
Come on, GG. That was good.
Show some respect, Kenny.
GG.
These are
Look at GG.
these are people that were lovely people, I'm sure, the Gregsons.
What's that top one? I can't even see what it is. CG and GG, EG.
Now, what they said was that
I don't know where the BG is.
the Bee Gees are
You know where they are? Go on, I'm setting you up here.
Massachusetts.
Exactly.
All right, okay.
That's where the BGs are.
Right, so it's down here. It's the tree lane. Now, if the vicar said that he'd heard stories, but a leading writer that was well known in the community who wasn't daft or crackers, he said he saw that at the tree lane. Now, this has to be the tree lane then, doesn't it? But you see, the tree lane goes from where we saw that bird of prey before, and it goes over the top into this area. Now, I'm guessing 1962, that might have been full of trees there, Kenny. Because they've got it kind of tucked away. Looks like there could even be a small stream over yonder. So this is where I think I'm going to necromance here, Kenny. Yeah. We might as well start as we mean to go on.
Edward Patterson, who was a farmer of Tunstall. There you go.
It's just a very old, quaint little cemetery. I like it very much. Let's necromance and see if we can get anything. Kenny, you've got a spirit box with you as well tonight. So Kenny's going to use his mic and go for a wander with it and see if he can get anything. And meanwhile, I think, Kenny, do you want to stay in here with that? And Tony and I'll go and take a walk around the...
With the spirit box, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll try.
Give it a go. Right, come on then, Toe. Let's go and have a look. It's a small graveyard, but it's very nice. And it's worth coming in just to see the leper gate. I don't think I've ever seen a church with anything like that before. It's fascinating. And you can just imagine a group of lepers, like, with their robes crowded around the door, trying to hear what the sermon was for this month. Got the necromancer ready to start, but we'll wait till we get out of beside people's living rooms. Ghost story witnessed 3 times by 3 separate people. That's what we're chasing in the next half of the show. Meanwhile, can you get around here? You can. Excellent. Right. Let's see what we get. Now I'm guessing this is the tree lane. This is where the tree lane would have been. Has to be up here. Who are you? Who lives out here? Who is the tall man? Who is the slender man who we see out here? Dead. Did you hear that? Dead, I know you're dead. What's your name? What is your name? Dead, 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 dead.
Very good.
Yeah, there's a stream down here as well. Now the main courtyard where we've actually parked the car has a ghost story attached to it too. I'll tell you that later on. I want to actually stick quite close, maybe to the edge of the church. Because if this was trees, and I'm guessing it was because of this mountain of trees behind it, they saw it from the graveyard. And that's here. Give me a name, please. David. Yes. I heard you, David. And why do you haunt this place? Why are you still here? Why are you hanging out here? You having problems, Kenny?
Not making any noise.
Give it to me. I'll set it up for you. It's just, sorry everybody.
Set, I think, but
Kenny's.
just didn't seem to be. Is that the volume?
Yeah, you've changed the speed a bit.
I'm going to turn the volume.
Can you lighten it up just for a second?
There we go.
That should be it. Okay. Well, hang on. Oh, sweet rates changed as well. Damn.
Just turn off and turn on again. That should reset it, should it not?
Right. Let's go. Volume. It's up full. Sweep forward. It's too fast.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry everybody. Just to make sure that Kenny, we're still learning with our spirit box. And it is becoming, oh hang on. Well, this is interesting. What was that? I caught a glimpse of something over here. Could be wildlife. There is a lot of wildlife around here. What about the beck? Dalton Dean used to be called, certainly is still called that, further along this road. You can hear the cars going by, so you guys at home might be able to make this out. In the last show we got full names, family names of people, And it ultimately proved itself. Or you guys proved it. David, are you still with us, David? You still with us? Yes. Why are you still here, David? Why are you still here? The tree lane. We're in the tree lane. This is where people see you. Did you hear that? It's like somebody walking next to me. Don't know whether you caught that. I hope you did. Listen, I'm standing still. Listen. Yeah, David, I know you're with me. What's here? Tell me, David. Death, I know. But why are you here, David? You don't have to be here. Why are you here? This is actually quite creepy out here. See the ivy's climbing up the trees, and you see the shining sweat of the trees. Now we're going to an old building very, very soon. You see this loose? Random. And it's strange, you find these, I'm not getting, it's annoying already tonight, not getting any depth here. But around every corner from where people live here, there's stories that people have seen ghosts. So we come and we have a look. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. Even if you just look behind you, Tony, you'll see the long steps coming down from the main street where people live, their houses. And you can imagine some figure coming down there. Can you see one? Is there one there? I believe that spirits are around us all the time. Now, without making anything up, can you feel it being colder here than it was for the earlier part of the night?
It's definitely cooler, yeah. Lost signal here, so
All right, let's go back. Sorry if we're losing a bit of signal. Let's see if we get anything this time round. Maybe go where the children's playthings are. See if there's any kids playing around. If they played on the living side, they'll play on the dead side too. Talk to me. If there's anybody. Oh, bats. Don't know whether you saw that, Tony, just above your head. Come on, if there's anything here, do tell. I heard a child there. There's something actually quite creepy about swinging on a swing in the middle of the night. Give me a name. Give me a name. I still need to know why you're here. Why haven't you left? Why do you stay here? If your name is David, we accept you, David. We know you're dead. Why are you still here? Why do you travel and hide in the tree line? What is that all about? Tony, serious, loud male voices over here. Hello? Hello? Talk to us. Hello? Talk to us. Say hello. Ah, just been nettled on my hand. Damn. Oh, don't know whether you heard that, but that was F off. Thank you. They want me to go forth and multiply. And so and then it goes quiet. Nothing there. Nothing there at all. Now, I think that being the case, Tony, I think the best thing we can do in reality is move on to our next spot. However, we've got a bit of climbing. It's open 24 hours a day, we're told, so we will be able to get in and we'll have a look around this place. We're going to set up the balls, set up Suki, and have a proper look for spirit. But before that, there is an awful story that happened here to a man called Archie Smith. And he used to live in one of the houses around here. I don't know whether it was, because these houses look the oldest, I don't know whether they're turn of the century. But a young man called Archie Smith died in an awful accident in Merton Colliery. And it's what happened to him there, really, that would end up probably causing him to haunt the place for as long as he did. Archie Smith. Now it says in his coal board file that he lived in the main square at Dalton le Dale. St Cuthbert's, they said. So we're looking for St Cuthbert's. I believe this is the square that you would call St Cuthbert's. I'd prefer a street name if it's possible. St Cuthbert's Terrace. Yes, it's here. It's definitely here. That's it, mate. There you go. Now, he lived in the square at St Cuthbert's. Now, I'm not exactly suggesting that this is a perfect square, but it's St Cuthbert's, and it's kind of a square. Now, what happened to Archie Smith? And you can look him up in the Merton Colliery file. It all happened in 1889. The square, St Cuthbert's Square, near the church. Now, they didn't bury him here. The coal board had him buried in Merton. But what's his story? His story is an awful one. His coffin, when it went into the ground, was pretty much empty because Archie Smith was standing next to a boiler when it exploded, and it was underground. so the blast had nowhere to go except through poor Archie. 8 other people were injured to the degree of losing limbs, losing livelihood certainly. 2 of them were blinded. 8 people badly hurt. Archie all but vaporised. And it was weird because when Kenny was talking about us looking at some pictures of people that had been vaporised in the Hiroshima thing, fascinating but macabre kind of shots. It was said that the only thing that they placed in Archie Smith's coffin were the bits they could scrape off the sides of the seam. And it was said because of that, and you got to remember this was 1888, up until 1915, when Britain was immersed in the Great War, from 1888 to 1915, people saw Archie's ghost walking across this square. Now, I don't even know whether the people who live here have any idea that there was a ghost. Now, we take for granted that if there's a ghost anywhere, the ghost will be there forever. Well, that's ridiculous. It's like saying when you move to your new house in Seaham, you'll be there forever. Well, of course not, you move around. And I believe that is spirit too, and sometimes spirit passes on to the next existence. Be really cool though if we could see Archie Smith in his work clothes, covered with muck, coming back from Merton Colliery like he did every day. He left early in the morning when it was at least as dark as this, and he got home late at night when it was at least as dark as this. And it said that at the end of the shift, when the other people here in Dalton Ladale saw their miners, saw their men coming in, and their boys, some of them were just young boys, in among the crowd of miners that were coming to the houses here, Archie Smith was always among them. Some of the other miners have apparently said that they saw Archie and they just let him be because he'd suffered enough, and he absolutely had. But this is the square, so look around. Do you see an anomaly? Do you see any sign of Archie? I would love to think he was here, and I wonder which house he lived in. Yeah, there's a blue plaque commemorating the Orams who gave their lives in the Great War, and Christopher Rogers Oram, who was severely wounded, the residents of Church Cottage that was located here on this site. It's nice that they give names to some of their heroes. To me, you know, we're talking about Archie Smith and the miners. The miners were an occupation that didn't go to war because they were needed for the war effort. And they had to work twice as hard for half the money for 4 or 5 years. They were heroes too. Let's go in and see if Kenny's had any joy. Then we're diving in the car and we're heading on to our next port of call. Let's see if he's managed to get anything, see anything, hear anything. For us, if we're honest, great stories, but even the necromancer let us down today. We haven't had anything yet. It could still come good. So where is he amongst the long dead? I love it when people go the extra yard. I'm not sure I would want it for myself, but when you see things like this amazing, not even sure what it is. Looks like an urn on top of a column, but it's grand. And maybe all of this stuff just comes from grief. You've lost somebody close to you. You want to show them, even after death, how much they meant to you. But to me, it's a stone. They live on in your heart more than anything else. Any joy, Kenny?
Nah, nothing. You get the odd word and stuff, and I've sort of, as if I got directed to there.
You want to put it around that way, though.
I had it both ways. I just put it down there.
Maybe
I
the
got
rate
directed
is
to
too
it.
small.
'Cause I said right, should I go right, left, and I got a better signal here, and it was making noise there, so I tried on there. But
No joy.
the guy there was a shipbuilder. So I thought there'd be some connection there. My dad
Yeah.
but no.
Did you hear anything? Anywhere? Because it's been quite flat where we were. Great ghost stories.
Right.
Great ghost story of the Archie Smith miner in the main square. But other than that, I think we better just bite the bullet and jump onto our next place. Come on, the next place is quite impressive. So don't crash into gravestones. Let's get busy and head off. Come on, Ken. You know, you always want. It's a lovely, I don't feel any threat here at all, man. And even when I went out and I was asking the necromancer, I got a voice of a man called David, who said and he's dead. Why are you here? I'm dead.
Right.
And then I switched it off and I went down that footpath where the wood lane would have been, because it's beyond the churchyard, which is directly onto a footpath. So I walked along that footpath and something told me to F off.
Oh.
So we're effing.
Hidden one there, yes.
Let's F. That's kind of the size that they give war memorial graves. I would not be surprised if that was one. Is that the front your side?
Yeah. William Joseph.
No, it's just a
Mary Robinson.
of the old vicarage.
Yeah.
Beloved wife of the above.
1944.
William Joseph must have been the pastor or the vicar, maybe.
Sedgefield Cemetery.
Interred at. No, come on, let's make our way. We were right the first time. It's very nice. We've done a lot of cemeteries. This is probably the most benign we've ever been to.
I had high hopes as well.
Well, I've seen a leper gate, I suppose. But this main square, it was St Cuthbert's Terrace. And that was where Archie Smith lived when a miner at Merton Colliery. So his ghost is still supposed to be walking around here. Right, let's head. Let's head to where we need to be. Thanks, Kerry. Can you do all the necessary and I'll sorry everybody at home, it's going to be a little bit of a faff while we, if you can. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's up. Right, Kenny's fancy locking system. It works though. Right, so you've got the torch, have you, Ken?
I've got the torch. You've got the spirit box.
I have indeed. I'll get the other torch out and Suki when we get to our next junction. Right, let's dive in.
You need this?
I need your camera. I do. Indeed. Sorry.
Point at you or what?
No, I'll point it at the road and Kenny. And you can grab it on the way back. That's lovely. Thanks, Joe. So.
There was a bad signal down there, so you might want to warn people that it might.
Right, okay. Well, we might, just give me that. We might go off. We're hoping not. Our next site, hang on, make sure you get your, yeah. Oh. Get your belts on. Hang on. Get mine on too. So sorry everybody if the pictures are a bit peculiar. There's Tony's car heading off. Once he moves, we'll go. It's disappointing though when you get to a place that looks like it's got everything that it needs. I was disappointed that we couldn't see the Anglo-Saxon sword. I presume that must be inside.
It must be inside, it's got to be.
And the sundial we didn't see, but at least we got the... where's he going?
Down there, that's the right way.
Oh, of course it is. I would have gone the other way. Sorry, so Kenny's driving. But it's just that, and the camera's going to bounce a bit because we're going over... It's the Dunstan curse, because how many have you got in Dunstan?
72.
72 speed bumps just in Dunstan alone.
Like I say, the lad from Liam Lane who won the silver medal, that's where he practiced in Dunstan.
And he was a biker, what was it, BMXer?
BMX biker, yeah, he practiced in Dunstan on all them humps. No wonder he won a silver medal at the Olympics.
I know, he'd had plenty of practice in Dunstan. And this is, oh, we've gone off, I think. Yeah, it's gone black.
Is it?
So I'm going to keep going, Sorry that we are in blackness. Oh, that's a damn shame. How do you put it back? Oh no, we're back.
Oh, there you go.
So, sorry everybody if everything suddenly went black. We are driving. Oh, I can tape that off and then you'll be able to see a little bit better. You're getting reflections of me notes there. Kenny driving carefully along, hump after hump after hump. It's a very dog place.
It is very.
When we parked up earlier, when it was quite late, here's another one, mate. There were people with dogs in all directions, which is, it's a nice thing. And there's a few walks alongside Dalton Dean, which is just along here. And there's a ghost story about Dalton Dean. And I just think it's weird because even when you scratch the surface of, oh, we've gone off again, damn it. But even when you scratch the surface of places that you've not heard any major stories of, there's nearly always somebody that's seen something somewhere.
Yeah, always.
And we're back. So sorry for blacking out. Hopefully you could still hear what we were talking about. It's just, has there been a place where you've not expected anything and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, there's a few times when we've done that, we thought, oh, this is quite boring, not much is happening. Then all of a sudden, it changes in an instant.
I've got a feeling for tonight that it's going to be this place here, mate.
Yeah, in here.
I think so.
I think so too.
And not because it was so quiet and peaceful down there, because the stories...
Yeah.
If a church puts a story in their own magazine about ghosts, there's got to be some credence to it, because it's the church people themselves
they wouldn't just
telling you that that was the case.
Yeah, they wouldn't just say that, would they?
No, you wouldn't think so.
There's something behind it. I mean, even at the best of times, they won't admit anything, will they?
Well, it's actually quite weird, you know, the whole thing, because that's St Andrew's Church. What do you know about St Andrew?
Not much, really. You don't, do you?
Well, this is the thing.
You don't.
Well, I had a look into St Andrew, and St Andrew, we were just stopping at, just saying welcome to St. I don't know, we've gone off again, which is just typical. Just getting to the car park, just park where you were the last time, Ken.
It's down here.
We have gone off, but we are now back. Hoorah! Now, again, Kenny, just for your benefit here.
Yeah.
St Andrew. Andrew wasn't his name, right?
Right.
So when you check it up to see who he was a fisherman in Bethsaida, but nobody named Andrew ever lived in Bethsaida.
Right.
No one knows where he's buried. Nobody knows where he preached, but they said he was martyred and crucified in Patras. But there's no grave, no date, no knowledge, even though they've got the names and dates of everybody else that died there for 2,000 years.
But not him.
He was a disciple. And the best proof they've got is that somebody came from the Holy Land to Fife in Scotland 400 years after Andrew would have been dead. Let's make him our patron saint.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Scotland the brave.
Absolutely. So anyway, opening it up and hoping that Tony at some point...
Tony's there, I think.
I don't know where he is. How are you, To? Just talking about saints and similar things. We went off a couple of times, but I kept talking, so...
It's going to be hit or miss, we'll see.
Hit or miss. Right. Got that. Got the amp. Have we got the amp? Check the amp, the amp.
Let's get everything.
Got the amp.
We need
Sucky, I know. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. You might want the sign there, Tony. You got the torch?
I've got the little torch.
Well, I'll give you yours and swap you for mine. Thank you. Just lock it up. Do I need anything else from in there?
We've got Sucky.
Sucky?
I've got the balls.
You got the balls, Kenny?
I've got the balls on.
Now, this is open 24 hours, but there's a little fence thing we've just got to get over. Not the other side of that, Tony, I was thinking.
Same side.
Well, not the big one. Right. And this is usually open. I think it must be closed just for the school holidays. We're going to treat it with respect, so we're going to be heading into Dalton Tower, which is a lovely, amazing and incredible place. We've just got to dance on. Dear. Leg over. Literally. Pass Suki over. Switch that off too. Okay. Got it. That's Suki. I'm on my way. Tony, do you want to pass that over? Any which way you can. Ooh.
Battery.
Got that, got that. Come over. Right hand side. That's it. Leg over. And we're looking at something.
Not the torch.
There is a hole, Tony, for you to put your foot, which you'll dive straight across.
You'll be all right.
Well, this is where I damaged my foot. I've only got use of one foot. And that's the right
Make
one.
things on there if you want to lean on that, just to stop you hurting yourself.
I can't see for the light.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't jump on Suki. You're good. You're good. You're good, mate. There you go. Tony McShane. Ah, you see, he doesn't want to be seen. It's just us. Just got to point it away. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Kenny's coming. Right. There you go.
Christ. Honestly, how much a month?
You've just earned your £2.27 or £3.27. Look at this.
Oh, there's a prickle just hit me. Oh,
Look at this.
that hurt.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Yeah, the closer you get to it, the more impressive it looks. And the good people who see them, you know, will drive past the edge of this day by day by day. And we hear it's open 24 hours according to the website. So we've come within 24 hours. And there's obviously an amazing feel about places that look like this, and especially at this time in the evening. You got street lights and people travelling back on the roads, and then you've got, look at that fireplace, Kenny.
Oh, that is crazy.
Wow. What a place. Kenny, be careful, because if they drop down, you might lose them forever. Right, time to get Suki out. Try and keep the torches off, and then we can see the balls better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, Come on, Suki. Let's see what you can do tonight for us. Really? Oh my goodness, already. Right. So, everyone, give it our best shot at the last place. We're going to have another go here and try sincerely to find if there's absolutely anything going on here. I hope you're going to join us in part 2. How can people do that if they're not subscribed to us?
If you're not, just look at the video description and there's a link. Hit that, become a subscriber on Facebook or YouTube, and it's all there for you.
Brilliant. Kenny, come down. Come down, mate, and knock your torch off. Let's get our eyes used to the darkness. See again?
Or staying in this vicinity or not?
I think so, for a little while.
So leave the
Oh,
balls.
look, the ball's going. Tony,
Oh.
Tony. We're staying here all right.
I think we are.
Careful.
Got it.
Look at that.
Jesus.